The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at first criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Hello, Sofa Squad. How is everybody doing? I hope y'all are just wonderful. If you could drop off a little one down in the portal below so that I know you can hear me talking to you. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I hope, oh, thank you for the ones. We've got it. Thanks, Chris and Allison and Zach and Katie and John and Shannon and Sherry and everybody and Jennifer. Hello, Tux. Hello, Emily. Oh, thank you, Jessa, for gifting 5 memberships. Hey, Darby. Hey, Megan. I hope everybody's well. Hey, Katie Cat. Hey, Javion. I hope I'm saying that right. Make it go left. You got a membership. Yay. Ruby, how's it going? Hey, Stephanie Case. What's up, everybody? So, y'all, so much has been going on in True Crime World. We had a meltdown yesterday. Let's just call it what it is. Okay. I had to get wheeled out of the day on life support. Started with Brian Koberger and ended with Lori Daybell. Hey, Jason. Hey, Lady Bird. Hey, Brenda. So, a couple of things before we get started. Hey, Shayna, before we get started. So, I just finished recording my pre-recorded reaction video for the other channel. And now the unedited version is almost 2 hours long. So, it'll be like a buckle up kind of a thing. Secondly, that's well, I guess maybe the third time I've watched it. 2.5, let's call it. So, Lord help me, right? Thirdly, completely separate. I'm going to try and stream Brian Koberger's plea deal hearing tomorrow. I have a couple of things going on, but my understanding, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, it's at 1 o'clock my time, Eastern time. So if it is, there's like a 2-hour window that I have. Now, it might go much longer than that. So I'm trying to decide if it's like, okay, come back later in the evening, do a rewatch, but I don't know if it's going to go for hours and hours and hours. So we're just going to kind of have to see, right? So we'll see on that. So I very well could stream it, but I'm going to kind of look into that after we hang up here. So there's that. Now, what we're going to do here is we're just going to basically talk about the interview. Hey, Charlie Duck, how's it going? And then go over to whatever. Hey, Janet. Hey, Stephanie. How? Colby's going to interview Nate Eaton tonight. That should be good, right? So everybody here, most everybody knows, but Nate Eaton interviews Lori Daybell. This, hey, allegedly, what's up? Thanks for mentioning me on your Instagram. Lori, Nate, this is where it all started. We've come full circle round. Okay. So here's the thing. just a couple of knee-jerk reactions. I'm not joking. I literally just sat here for like last 2 hours hanging out with damn Lori Daybell and talk about her. Okay. I was like, I'm gonna wait to do the reaction video before we do this. So it's like fresh in my mind. So I'm like completely traumatized. So here's a couple of things. Number one, overall, this is one thing that kept coming up to me. First of all, did y'all notice how she gave more, and I'm trying to think of the right word, and I don't know if it's empathy, but spoke more highly and was more empathetic to her fellow inmates than she was even her own children, right? Like anytime she spoke of Ty, and specifically Tylee's name was brought up. I mean, I know JJ's was too, but like specifically Tylee was like brought up multiple times in this, whatever, because she really kept trying to drive in that whole thing about what a miserable life Tylee had, and blah, 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 blah. You know, and at one point when she was talking about that, I was like, you know, Lori keeps going in and in and in about how horrible Tylee's life was, almost like in this way, like here now, Lori did not say this, is just me, almost like she was better off gone. It's better off that it happened this way, right? I mean, look at how she was so miserable. All these horrible things happened to her as a young girl. Then all this pain, it's just better off. As opposed to the way she was speaking of her fellow inmates, of the plight that they've had to do and the misjustice that they've had to go through and the this and that. And I was like, we can't even get like 1 ounce of that. And even though Lori was trying to sit here and say, oh, Tylee went through this, it had this different vibe. Now, if you've been following this like from the beginning, whatever, okay, so you know how when Melanie Gibb, and I said this in the pre-recorded one, but I can't remember the names here. Okay, so remember when Melanie Gibb did the interview, and I feel like a couple of things going on here. Dr. Hermosillo, he might as well be a doctor at this point, right? Detective Hermosillo was there, and another dude, like another investigator, whatever. So correct me if I'm wrong here. The other dude was LDS, but Hermosillo was not. So a couple of things. Melanie Gibb had that whole thing where she was trying to like be all up in it with the other dude, like that, almost like that talk, like, we're in on something over here, but you're not Hermosillo. Okay, but that interview right there, okay? So that thing right there, remember in that how Melanie Gibb would speak of Rob Wood, thank you. Yep. Okay, so Ray is not LDS. Okay. So yeah, so she had that whole thing going on there of trying to exclude him, whatever, which is almost like right now, not really the point I'm getting at, but it's just, there's another thing I mentioned in the video, I can't remember. So in that, when Melanie Gibb would speak of Tylee, there was like this underlying, like, I did not get the vibe that Melanie Gibb liked Tylee, right? Like beyond what I would consider normal of a parent's friend being like annoyed with their kid or something like that, or some vibe like that. Like it was there. And what I'm getting at is this. I felt like that same energy was translated, I hate saying that word, with Lori. And even watching this interview today, I was like, or, you know, last night, today, whatever, I was like getting that same thing where I'm like, they don't speak of Tylee in this way like they even like her, right? It's like this, and you know, Lori's her mother, and I get that there's a difference between being like, I've got an unruly teen, I'm annoyed with them. Yeah, Megan said underlying animosity. That is the perfect, yes, Megan. The underlying animosity is still coming off of Lori. Like if I had to sit here and say, if I like Paul, name a one little thing, what vibe you got from Lori about Tylee is that she's annoyed that she's she wouldn't say this. She's annoyed that she's having to go through this because of Tylee. You see what I mean? Like, so anyway, so there's that. So that was a huge takeaway from this is, oh, wow. Secondly, Lori, absolutely, whether she believes this or not, only Lori will ever know. And maybe us, as far as however long she tries to keep this lie up. The way Lori is like sitting here, do you regret anything? No, this is like God's wrote the story. I'm just part of it, right? I'm just like playing my role. I mean, yeah, it's a starring role. Would you change anything? No. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, what? That's the part where it's almost like she wants to make a difference in her fellow inmate's life. But when it's asked a basic question where you could simply just even say a simplistic, like, oh, God, yeah, I'd do anything to bring him back. She won't even say that. It's like she won't even let their souls have that, but also maybe the public, right? And I don't know how to really, that hasn't completely formed, right? So yeah, so there was that part. Now, also the part about she definitely, and so another thing I kept saying, I'm just kind of jumping around here because there's so much to say or whatever. Okay, so another big thing that I was hitting on in the pre-record video or whatever is, yeah, Lori, again, whether she believes it or not, but she truly believes she's going down in like scripture history, however you want to say that. Okay, now I'm not familiar with, well, obviously with her stuff, like whatever the traditional LDS religion is, I'm not familiar with that, whatever. So I don't know how much of that she's trying to extract from that and turn into her own thing. But this whole thing where she's like the scriptures and I'm writing it, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and blah, 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 and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, she's a rock star. Hey, Ultra, she's a rock star in her own mind. Hey, Jenny, you know what I'm saying? And she is the star of this show and loves that attention. Now, a couple of things here when I say this, and I can't remember now at this point because I've like literally filmed all these little videos and stuff like that. So I filmed a video the other day that will be tomorrow morning's video, but it's kind of like outdated, not outdated, but it's old news, and it's about Lori's appeal. Okay, so in that video, I said this. I was like this, hey, Diva. I was like, okay, Lori did the appeal. That's standard protocol. We knew that was that's gonna go for anything, right? This was not shocking. It's always, kind of like a little like, oh yeah, she said she was sick and she said that, whatever, right? It's annoying, but just another Tuesday here, folks. So I was like, the appeal, okay, sentencing, okay. What is she gonna do next? Does it end here, or are we going to continue to see what happens when this attention goes away? Well, ask and ye shall receive. Okay. Right. Not only did we get our answer, we got something like the payoff. It's like if there was going to be something here of like, what are we going to get these answers? Or if we could only sit down and say this, like Nate did that for us. Like he literally asked so many of the questions. In a professional way, we probably would like to do it, kind of coming up over the counter or whatever, right? But it was just like yes, somebody's like speaking for us, okay? So I was like, well, there's your answer. There's your answer. Like she's not even sentenced. And she's doing what she knows that this is going to be big. You heard her say, long time coming. Yeah. And then the way she was like, this case, man, I made you. The center of why we're at where we're at is because she thinks she is I don't know if deity is the right word. I don't know if the second coming is the right word. However you want to put someone who views themselves as on the same level as Jesus or God or whatever that is for a person, whatever, that's what she is. She literally thinks that about herself. Also, another thing too that I was like, okay, I think this is one thing that's going on here. So Lori, wait, I lost it. Hold on, I lost the thought. Okay, we did the whole thing about she thinks she's Jesus Christ. She thinks she's the second coming. What was it? I don't know. Let's talk about petty stuff for a second. I'll come back to me. Okay, so another thing number one, the way that Nate was like this, where he was just stone cold, right? First of all, look, a couple of things. I'm going to jump around, y'all. I just had a cappuccino. Okay, so when she was like, I don't know if I've been excommunicated. I said this in the video. I was like, please tell me, for the love of all things, that her and Chad have been officially excommunicated from the church. Okay. Because I'm just sitting here like saying, I don't know if we have or not. It's like, girl, if ever there was a case for it, right? If ever there was a case for it, this is it right here, okay? So I was just like, what are you talking about? Now, also the way that Nate would also be like, when she would go on and on and on and on about something. And then he was like this, he was like, so did you ever think that you would be classified as a serial killer? Like he would just bring it all back in. It's like, she's been up here talking about she's going to be in the new scriptures, chapter 10. And he's like, well, what's it feel like to be known as a serial killer? Hey, Slow, how's it going? And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, oh my God, I love this. Now, also the part in the very beginning or whatever with Chad when he's asking about that. And she's like, some of the stuff she was talking about, I believed her in the way of like when she said that John Pryor came and said, we're going to blame you. Chad wants you to know he didn't want to do that. I'm sure, like, I have no doubt that something like that happened, right? Because the whole thing is like, well, it would only make sense for each other to all blame each other and for Alex to be at the center of that. On that note, also, notice how Lori, without saying it, blames everybody else and Alex being at the center of that. So, for example, when Nate's like, what about you're on video, storage unit, doing all that? I didn't know. There's stuff around the house. I was like, what is the stuff? So we took it there. And then Alex is like, hey, I need that stuff. Well, without saying or blaming anything, this is the game she's playing. She's playing the I'm dumb. I don't know what's going on. But by doing that, she's also like, that was Alex. That was his stuff. I don't know what he was doing with that. Your guess is as good as mine. Well, we all know what it was, right? And she did the same thing for another time too, where she was like talking about the pictures and stuff like, I didn't touch my kids. You know, I don't know. I mean, all I know is the kids, they're coming to visit me, talking about don't feel bad. Yeah, I don't know what all that is. She's doing the same thing without saying it. Right. And again, to me, like if you look at everything from like a defense standpoint, it would only serve both her and Chad to completely blame Alex. I mean, for heaven's sake, right? Look at how that went. Okay, now also, y'all, in the very beginning where she comes sauntering in there, yeah, Mayla's mom, I haven't said that right. She's 25. Y'all, when she comes in there, Nate's like, happy birthday. And she says, how old do you think I am? And then he says, I know how old you are. He saved himself. And so polite, right? And she's like, well, the girls, she couldn't leave it alone there. She couldn't leave it alone there. She is going to force the compliment, okay? She was going to force the compliment. She's like, well, the ladies in the unit are talking about, you look like you're turned 25. And I said, I'm 25 plus 25. And I'm like, that's your opening line. But again, it's the forcing of it to me that I was like, that is so cringy. So cringy. Yeah, Chris was so embarrassed. I know, me too. It really was. It was just like, why are we? Here's another thought too. This is another thing that Lori, to me, like, gives off. To me, she feels like someone, and there's a couple of things going on here. Obviously, we know that she has access to her paperwork, to her things. I mean, she was a lawyer. She was a defense attorney, right? It's almost like this, like, in addition to saying she's in the cell, going over her paperwork, that's all she's doing, okay? It's also like giving this whole thing of somebody who's been in solitary confinement and it's messed with them mentally. You know, like if you've seen documentaries on that and that kind of stuff or whatever, where it's like, that does something to your brain or whatever. So watching Lori, I was like this. I was like, yeah, this just seems like she's been left alone in a room for too long. But the only source of entertainment she had was her casework. And it was like she went over it with a fine-tooth comb. Now, I know she's talking about, I've got a little friend in the next cell. We talk about this, we talk about that, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I think that that's kind of like a little bit of a saving grace for her to keep her somewhat grounded. so like if you've ever watched these shows where like these people are in true, I'm talking like you don't have access to another human being, right? You're not seeing them. You're in that kind like that, like screws with their head, right? So Lori's like a paycheck away from that because they're probably conversing on some level. I mean, she's saying that the women are like, I know everything about your case, and they're like propping each other up or whatever. But it's like she had that paperwork, so she's been able to go through it. But the mistake, well, one of the mistakes she's making, in my opinion, of course, I'm not a professional, is instead of looking at the big picture, she's looking at each little instant and coming up with an excuse for it. So she's like this. She's like, so for example, and I'm not going to get things wrong, but when they exhumed, I think Tammy Daybell, and she's like, who did that? Why we had a cause of death, a natural cause of death. Why we do that? And it's like, well, because they got more information, because hello, people were all dying around you, so they wanted to re-examine it. And so they did, and they found out that things weren't what they appeared. But Lori, instead of seeing that big picture, is sitting here and she's like, well, no, this one thing was this, and so therefore it's a conspiracy. It was natural causes, so therefore it was this. And it's like, well, girl, that's because you've been sitting in a padded room with that piece of paper for 3 years. And so that's the only thing you've had to read. And so while it might seem like that's really big in your world, out here where we've all got stuff going on and we have context and we see it and we're not, we didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it comes off. And so just do that with like all the other stuff or whatever. Hold on one second. I gotta mute. I gotta take a sip of my coffee, so please help. I gotta mute y'all so I'm not drinking in it. Hold on. Oh, thanks, Elaine. Oh, Emily. I was her victim for years. Kobe to the implement. Okay, so on that note, and thank you for the super chat, Elaine. Y'all help me out here, because when Lori went, and I said this in the pre-recorded video because I was like, I don't know, I don't remember, I don't know enough about this. I remember Colby talking about it at one point, but I don't know what all he said, whatever. When she meaning Lori, when Lori went into the whole thing, kind of like mid to late part of the interview, where she's going on and on and on about, Tylee, the horrible, hard life that Tylee had, and what Joe did to her, the SA, and to Colby, and Colby wanted to protect her and all this stuff, and he was doing this. And I was like, so let's pause there because there's gonna be 2 parts to it. I was like, I've heard of that talk. I do not know if that's true. I don't know if that really happened. I don't know. And I also don't know if it did happen, that it went down the way that Lori's saying, right? So I have no idea, but does anybody, wait, Melissa says that Kobe was upset when she did that. He said she would tell everyone, even his teachers. Oh my God. God bless. Oh, thank y'all for your support for Derek. I appreciate that. I'll let him know. Like Katie Cat says, my dog just got home. Oh, and I love it. So I'm just reading your comments real quick. Yeah, it wasn't her story to tell. So, and see, that's because there's something even. So here's my thing with it. Even if she's telling the truth, there's something off about it. And that's like y'all saying that where Kobe was like upset. It's like not her story to tell. That's what it's giving. That's the off thing. Now, second part of it, when she's going into the story about when Nate's like, why didn't you tell the cops? Why didn't you tell them that? I like the way Nate would point. Well, golly jeepers, why didn't you tell the cops? He's so like pure, you know what I'm saying? Just like clean cut kind of guy, whatever. Okay, so when she's talking about like, why I didn't do that? Why I didn't tell the cops? I've called the cops twice in my life one time. Legit thought she was going to say one time it was at Publix because they want to take my expired coupons. Okay. I was literally waiting for that right there. Okay. Like, second time was at Kohl's. I went to take my Kohl's cash. Okay. We had the whole squad up in there, right? Damn Reno 911 up in there. Okay. But when she started talking about, I've called him twice, and it was in relation to these events that, she's saying took place with Tylee and Colby and whatnot, and how they didn't do anything and all this type of stuff. And I was sitting here and I was like, okay, again, because I don't know what all this part of the story enough, but I was just like, Lori has this thing with taking ownership of other stuff. So like that right there. Oh, the cops don't do this and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, we see this time and time again in domestic situations and CPS situations where it's like authorities are basically like, no, something really horrible has to happen before, we'll do anything. Call us when someone's dead kind of a thing, right? And so I'm just like, if Lori is exploiting this, only to end up killing off her own children. Like the irony, you see what I'm saying, or whatever. Like, oh no, I didn't do that. I was gonna do that. They weren't gonna do nothing, It's almost like another level of exploitation of a real victim story or whatever. I'm just reading your comments for a second. Yeah, it really his interview was so good. Now, also so the other part too. Hey Julia, how's it going? Okay, so when Nate was sitting there and asking her the Zulema thing, okay, let's talk about that. So when he's talking to her about, when Nate is talking to Lori about Alex, and he's like, well, the day before he died, he said this, he was gonna be the fall guy. Was he your fall guy? No. Did you have something to do with it? No. And so then talking about Zulema, and she's like, I've watched all like 13 hours of Miss Earth, Wind, and Fire. And she's like, the cops are doing this, and they were saying this, and they were saying that, and so she just made stuff up, and she did this, and she did that. So, and I'm like this, I have, again, no doubt in my mind that this is a tactic the cops use, right? If you don't help us, we're going to do this to you. And that probably was used in some of these scenarios because there's a lot of people involved in this situation. And to me, Zulema is one of them. Again, I don't know. This is all allegedly. This is all my opinion. This is not fact. But like Zulema and Melanie Gibb, for example, of people who you kind of question, not culpability, but it's almost like I feel like Lori and Chad had groups of people that they went around to, and they picked people out that they could manipulate, right? Melanie being one. Some of the ladies that we saw testify in the things or whatever, but I don't know how much they were into it, involved or whatever. But like Zulema and them, where it was like they were kind of all up in this stuff, right? And you just question, like, how did you not see this or that, or how involved were you really? Melanie Pulowski, that kind of vibe of like, where does the start and finish really, begin and end with the culpability or whatever, right? And so Lori sitting there talking about, Zulema, and oh, she made this up and she made that up, and I'm just like, no, I think that they very well could have been like, we could charge you with A, B, and C, and so you need to tell us the truth. And I don't think that there's much to make up. Okay, I think a lot of it. I mean, we saw the physical handwritten evidence of the dark list, the things, the this, the that, the blah, 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 right? Oh, so there's that. So secondly, when Nate starts calling her out and being like, you were up in the temple with Chad. Is Jesus good with that? Your children were butchered in Chad's yard. Is Jesus good with that? And she just deflects from it. What else could you do, I guess? Like, I'm not sure what I'm wanting her. Yeah, Megan says Zulema had no thought everything. Honey, let me tell you what. This crowd, I mean, documented their crimes, right? I'm talking documentary style. Oh my gosh. Yes, Slow says he called her out big time. Nate was amazing. He really did. Yeah, did y'all see that? I don't know where I saw this, if it was on Facebook, but Nate posted it, and it was something like "Good morning, Monica" or whatever, and it was somebody, he blocked her last name out. Oh, thank you, Lisa Nielsen, Lice-Lote. How do you say your name? I hope I'm not saying it wrong. But he posted this thing somewhere. Somebody emailed him just going off on him for hosting the interview or whatever. I didn't feel like it was exploitive in this fashion, because now let me see this. If Nate was having her on every Friday night, okay, this might get a little excessive, right? But it's like he, yeah, Emmy says he controlled the interview. Yeah, he was like, you know what? We're asking these questions. This is what we're doing. We're getting it out. Boom, done. Full circle. It was on Facebook, Jenny. Okay. So, I just felt like it was appropriate. Now here's the other thing. So in the video, I was saying, it's like, where does Lori go from here? Right? This is the end all be all interview as far as I'm concerned. And she knows that. Now, obviously we have sentencing. Oh, thanks, Slow Morrison. She has sentencing. I think that we could possibly see Lori reduced to something of this flavor. Fast forward a little bit. She gets shipped off. It's clear she loves attention. That is the heart of why we are at where we're at with her. She believes that she is the second coming, whatever you want to call it, right? She's all the things. Well, she needs these interviews. She needs a captive audience. And while she's sitting here saying she's been put on this earth to minister to these women on death row, whatever, okay, great, you do you, boo. She still likes the public, or she wouldn't be here, right? Because we're not seeing Chad running and doing interviews left and right. There's a lot of people that we're not seeing doing these interviews left and right. People who we do see do them: Jodi Arias, Lori, Sherry Papini, Casey Anthony. I could see Lori being reduced when she realizes, oh, no one's listening. I could see her doing interviews on like random YouTube channels. And when I say interviews, like over the phone. And I'm not talking Colby's, like I'm talking like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's going to get desperate for her drug, and attention is her drug. This whole concept of I am the next thing, I'm in the scriptures, I'm the this and that. And so I think that she's going to get to that level where it's like, and this book she's writing, please, couldn't roll my damn eyes hard enough over that. I was like, I'll read Sherry Papini's book. Can you imagine what a whole book by Lori is? Can you imagine what it would be? It would be nothing but her going and rambling on about nonsense. It wouldn't even be like, this is what really happened. It would literally be, wait, hold on. Amy, thanks for being a member for 9 months. Ask to watch Even Almighty. It has, yes, I know, right? 100%. Her book would just be, absolutely whatever. This is what I said. Imagine, I don't remember his name, his kids' names, but Chad's kids' names. Imagine if they fired the old printer off and Chad's thing and self-published her book. Lori was sending it in on toilet paper. Oh, wait, hold on. What did it look? Wait, please hold. How do I do this? How do I pause this thing? Hold on. Good Lord, y'all are out of control. Okay, allegedly says, did you hear that Lori's favorite show, The Chosen, has recently put out a statement cutting all ties with the... Well, really? So I don't know what the show The Chosen is. But let me look real quick. The Chosen TV show. The Chosen, Last Suppers. See, is an American Christian historical drama to that. Okay. Oh, that does sound interesting, actually. 2017. So they cut, well, let me get back to y'all. So they cut ties. Interesting. Very, very interesting. It's good. I'll check it out. The description sounds good. So with Lori, okay, where was I? Hold on. So yeah, I think she'll do these kind of interviews, these kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, the book. Yeah, so imagine if Chad's kids, or Emma, whatever her name is, the ones that are, because I think that they're kind of helping communication go, if there is. Lori acted weird over talking about Chad, where she didn't want to talk about him, but I didn't. She still speaks of him highly, but it makes me wonder if she's still talking to him, because it's my understanding that she can't just write him a letter. Like an inmate can't write another inmate a letter or whatever. So to me, and we didn't we get proof of like where Emma or somebody was facilitating communication between Lori and Chad. So I feel like there's something there, right? I don't know what. Yeah, she doesn't want Chad to put her off the boat. And that could be it, Katie Cat. It literally could be. Interview by postcards. I know, right? The co-conspirators. Yeah, the whole, yeah. Or Summer helps them communicate, right? Okay, allegedly says no, they can't. They're co-conspirators. So maybe that's why Lori's weird, because she wasn't acting a certain way or whatever. So the thing about Evan Almighty, Diane asked, and I can't remember what Nate said at the end of the live chat last night, but did he say that he never watched it, or he did like right before he came in or something like that? Because remember when he was like, remind me, when she was asking him about a part of it. But even that right there, I've not seen that movie. However, that whole thing where she's going off on Nate about watching the movie and the boat and, trying to do that, it's just all in line with the way she needs to minister to people and the way she treats people. You know what I'm saying? Like the way she acts, like it's her job to teach you about morality and morals. And so like that was like that with Nate. And I mean, luckily the man just sat there and let her do it to get the story out of her, right? And like just kind of let her tell the story. Also, side note, notice how when Lori would try and pull him in and his religion in there, he didn't go for it. He didn't acknowledge it. He didn't do anything. Any of that stuff, right? Like it was like he just kept on going. He kept that look on his face, and it was like, boom, let's just, here we go. Also, side note, the way that Lori, when she walked in there, okay, like first of all, pretend like I'm walking in. Okay. She came in and she was like, oh, hey. To me, she had that vibe. Okay, so think about a time where you've been in a situation where you're getting ready to kind of have like not a confrontation, but maybe a difficult conversation, or you're seeing someone that there's maybe some awkwardness between. And so it's that thing where you kind of, you're finding things to busy yourself with to kind of be a distraction in the room, or oh, hold on, some more since says look at your body language means you may have the trigger about. Yes, and thank you for that, Slow. And Shannon, thank you for being a member of our 12 months. Her interview voice is, yeah, it's great. We're gonna say that cringier. Yeah, 100% agree. Yes. So she's acting like when she came in, like that awkwardness, like there was a thing, but then she immediately, well, obviously she comes in bouncing like, hey, everybody. But the way she walked in acting like, is my bowl of M&Ms with only brown and yellow ones that I requested over there? Is the room temperature set at this? Like acting like where are my handlers kind of a vibe. And I was just like, this is so cringy. It's so cringy. And then at the very end, like, did you say whatever it was she asked for? And the cop was like, no. And she was like, joking and laughing it off. She likes the infamy is what it is, but I really do think that she views herself as a celebrity. Like I really do. The way that she talks about like making Nate's career and this and that and the other. And while I agree with her that yes, when you're in a high profile case like this, clearly an industry has been made over the Daybell case, right? From YouTube to documentaries to media to all the, like, yes, 100% get that, right? However, Lori wants to pivot it in this way to make it look like she's bigger than that, when she also benefits from that and enjoys that. You know what I mean? Like she likes and gets off on that. because I think that she really views where she's at. Number one, it's a drug to her. But number two, instead of looking at it like, oh, wait, I'm famous for this way because I killed my kids and like these other people, right? She's looking at it and selling it as, no, this is God's plan. This is how it's supposed to be. And that's bigger than any of us. And I'm the leader of that. I'm the vessel for this, and this is what we're teaching the world over this. And I'm just like, girl, it's like a real minute population that knows who you are, right? I mean, we've learned this, okay? Like I can walk up to a random person and be like, Lori Daybell, and they're like, who? Okay, this isn't the second coming. Okay, this is no. You're famous because you assisted in killing your children, and then ran off to Hawaii. With a ukulele and Chad, a little frog. And then the way too that she got, hey Bandits Mom, how are you doing? The way that she got all like a certain way with Nate when he was talking about I forget what exactly they said, but it was some effect talk about time, and he was like, is that gonna be before Chad's executed? He was quick. He was quick with it, right? Okay, so when he was like, is that before or after he's executed? She's like, before. Like, come on. And when she was like, it's going to all happen and and all this stuff. And she acted like, And that's the thing, too, where I don't know what the LDS says about like end of times and stuff like that, but she tried to speak to Nate as if like, well, almost like, we're in end of times or whatever it was. Like she was trying to like get that, but he wasn't giving it to her, kind of a thing or whatever. But that's where I think she tries to write it off, where she's just like, oh no, we're in end of times thing or whatever. So yep, we got the easy way out, and not only we're end of times, but like Chad and I are, hello, we're the prophets. We are the end of time people that you want to be with. Okay. That whole part of it. And I'm just like, she's just going to change the story when it doesn't happen. She's just going to change the story around. She's going to be like, well, look, this was going to go this way, but unfortunately we had some change of plans take place. We had a little something. We're going to have to push that date back a little bit. My people are going to get with your people. We're going to push that date back. Yeah, Julie says her calling Nate naive was a chef's kiss. Amen. All North Wilding, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Yeah, is that before or after he gets yeah, I just love the way Nate came back at her with stuff like that. I just love the way like that line right there, and then the so what's it like being known as a serial killer? It would just kind of take her off guard because it's like she needs to be reduced back down to what it is. And it's like, and again, with Lori, watching her in the context of, she's like, whoops, I'm not gonna, I didn't touch my kids. What are you talking about? I didn't do that. But, and I mean, I know I said this again, I'll say it again. The part, yeah, also RJB says that Nate was also Judas. I mean, that was the thing where she's coming up with this stuff. But there is a level. Okay, so let's pause. Let's reset. And first of all, let me get some water. I should not have had that cappuccino before. I was so hyped up. I was like, I'm getting tired. I've been talking for 2 hours to the camera over there. I was like, let me get a cappuccino. And now I'm like, brrr. Okay. So I was dying to come here and talk about this tonight, y'all. We were in the little Patreon live chat talking about it as it was happening or whatever last night. Y'all couldn't roll my damn eyes hard enough. But also, if you watched it live when Nate was streaming it and his setup messed up or whatever, I was like, okay, so Nate's the professional. I'm glad to see somebody else has these issues because if that was me doing it, that's 100% how that would have gone down, right? There would have been malfunctions. There would have been this or that. I would have been muting stuff left and right. I mean, you name it, it would have happened. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, even this happens to Nate, we're good, right? I'm going to mute y'all for 1 second while I take a sip of this water. Hold on. Okay, so this is my question. Do you think pardon me, when we're talking about Lori, her insistence of, no, this is supposed to be this way. It's supposed to, whatever. Nope, don't regret the kids being dead, none of this stuff, whatever. And then her constantly going back to religion, constantly going. Do we think she actually believes this? Do we think that she truly is that delusional and believes this full chest out? Or is this her thing, like behind the scenes, where she's like, well, I gotta say that because good Lord, they're gonna kill me up in here if they find out that I knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the part where I watch it. So yes. And absolutely. I love it. She's had a professional. Yeah. So okay, so the private, yep. Okay, no, we got a note. Yep. I think she can message herself. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Because there is a level to it. Okay, now here's the tricky part to it too. Because her delusion is so insane. And that's where I think it almost is like this level. Remember she was talking about how I was doing all the work at the temple and this and that. I was like, okay, wait, hold on. Emmy says she had like Nate should have felt blessed by her, but she was like, she did. I mean, I totally agree. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah, she was doing a meet and greet. She was doing a damn meet and greet up in there in her world. I felt like when she started talking about, I was at the temple putting all this work in, doing this for my family and all that. I just had this thing when I was watching, I was like, that's where the delusion started. Okay. It was like when before all this crap, before she met Chad, it was almost like it started with her at a certain level back then. And like, she just went down it. Almost, I continually can compare it to this, almost like with these two things. Somebody who was like, I got into D&D, but I got into it. Like I got lost in that world. I believed it. I lived there. I never came out. Or, and I don't know what you call this, you can answer it in the comment section. Okay, so that method of acting, like where you're going to play a role and like the actors like really live like that person, like whatever it is. So it's like if that person was a heroin addict, like they're like, okay, I'm going to go down there and do all that and to like really know how to sell this. But then the actor never comes out of that method acting. Thank you, Florence. Thank you. Could not think of that earlier. Oh my God. So it's something like that where they never come back out of it. That's the vibe that I got when she was talking about the temple. And I was like, oh, this started way back then. And it got worse and worse. And the more drunk she got on like the attention, and the more drunk she got on like when she got with Chad and all this. Because again, the way they talk about Chad and that little niche that they're in, it's weird to me because I'm just like, huh? Like what? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get, like, I truly think if this hadn't gone this way or whatever, like they thought Chad was the second coming. Like the way they were talking, Julie Rowe, all of them were talking about him. Even Melanie Gibb in the early interviews, they thought that he was like biblical. Okay. They changed their tone when they were like, oh God, he's like killing kids and stuff. But they were really looking at him that way. So I think that just contributed to Lori being like, wow, I'm with him. He's the one to be with in this little world. Hold on 1 second. Let me get some more water. I gotta mute you. So I don't know. So overall, rounding my thoughts out to it, pure cringe binge. Okay. I'm talking pure cringe binge. I feel sorry for the deputies that work on her unit. That she is preaching to them about stupid stuff. Okay. They won't give her a second bar of soap. She's going to sit here and just talking about Judas this, Judas that, whatever. Okay. They are probably so sick of her. I also think that she just wanted to get out of the Arizona jail. Literally. Yeah, Mary says, and thank you, Mary. Mary says you could hear her justifying the killing of the kids. She still thinks it was God's will. Absolutely, right? No skin off her nose. No, they were serving the purpose. And then her sitting there talking about, they come to visit me. They told me they don't want me to be sad. Honestly. Oh, the part where she was talking about pulling their teeth out. I was like, we'll revisit you in about 5 years, Lori, and we'll see. Can you imagine if she had to go to court with her 2 front teeth missing? It would have been bitter. Okay. But yeah, I think she just was bored. I think she wanted to get off to prison, maybe. I don't know how it works in that way. Oh, thank you, Avery Shungle. Oh, we'll talk about it here in a second. Because I'm going to round things out and we're going to like sign off here in a minute. We'll talk about it. About Brian Koberger's situation and tomorrow and all that. But yeah, I think she was ready to get out to prison. She has more freedom there. Arizona sucks. You know, it's whatever's going on there. She's just over it. I think she probably, now when she was talking about how she was listening to those sermons on her AM FM thing, you know, or whatever it was she said, and she was like asking Nate if he listened to it or whatever. And I don't even know if he confirmed that to her or not. But I had this thought and I was like, oh, she's just sitting in her cell listening to that. And she might mosey on over, sift through her little paperwork, you know, for court. She doesn't care. She dialed it in on this last one. She did whatever. She's just listening to her little delusional stuff. And that's all. And another thing too, when Nate would like not really put her back against the wall, but in a sense, doing that, she's very good at changing the subject. And then also writing it off to some form of a religious thing. Oh, it's God's will. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. So that's what makes me, to kind of finish up the delusional thing. The delusional stuff, I think she's delusional. I also think it's interesting that I do believe she knows right from wrong. I think that she is completely like off her rocker in this way, but she also is aware of like right and wrong at the same time. Like she knows whatever, she knows what she did. Now she might be like, oh, it's for God's will that we killed the kids and made that happen. But she also knows it's wrong. Like she can't say that. You know what I mean? So she's come up with all this other stuff. Oh yeah, Ruby says about the dark list. Yeah, when he's like, you know, was I on that list? And I said this in the video. I was like, if he didn't make that list, I can 100% assure you she's got a new list going in her cell, and whatever it is, Nate is number 1 on that damn list. Okay, whatever it is, Nate is public enemy number 1 on Lori's new list, right? Period. End of story. And the way she shook his hand when she came in, Nate, she's so full of herself. She is so full. Acted like she came down off the damn cross for 30 minutes to answer his questions. I mean, honestly. Acted like she came off the cross for a few minutes to bless us all and then slithered her way back. I mean, it's just insane to watch. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you know, Judge Bresky was like over her, okay, and the attorney too. I'm talking over her, right? I mean, who wouldn't be? Imagine being forced to deal with her at your job for like 3 years or whatever it's been, right? Imagine being forced to do that, and then you're told you have to give a group presentation with her for like 6 months. I would honestly be like, I'm retiring, I'm quitting. I don't know what, but I'm done. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. So here's my thing. I'm not going to even say, oh, it's going to be a while. We could see another interview from her next week. I think we're going to see any way she can get the word out with her little book scribbled down on some damn toilet paper. You know that's what it's on too. You know she carries a roll of toilet paper. It's got like the Bible thing. She's like, it's the scrolls. They're all wound up in a circle like the scrolls. And I guess too, I'm thinking like, what does she think? What does she think that's going to happen? Emmy says, I think she goes into overdrive with the religious stuff when she wants to avoid a question. I 100% agree. 100% agree. Definitely, it's a way for her to like to get away from the question. Absolutely agree. You're the 10 Commandments of Lori Horror. Literally, that's what she's doing. Yeah, Brenda says, I'll bet Chad and Tammy went to the temple and Lori accidentally ran into them. Yeah, that whole part where she was like, Tammy went. No, Tammy was there at the temple with us. Really? 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 Okay. Oh, you just know that Lori and Chad, just the way that they probably were acting with each other in the beginning stages. Poor Tammy. Yeah, Jessica says she imagined that as a total meet cute. Absolutely. Or she sat behind him. Yeah. Oh, I appreciate Emmy. Oh, yeah, Diva says, what about the list of stuff about the inmate rights and stuff like that? And that's what's interesting because notice what she's done too with that is now this is the world she lives in and will live in, the rest of her life, right? Even whether she wants to admit it or not, whenever that ends, whether it's the second coming, the end of times, or she just lives a natural life in prison. Now she is, all thanks, West Point daughter. I have a stain. West Point daughter says I have a stain on my living room floor that won't go away. I'm going to name it Lori. I like that. Lori could become a new cuss word, right? Ow, my knee, Lori. Oh, allegedly says tonight's courtroom insider will be interesting. Nate's wife is going to talk about her thoughts of being in the room during the interview. Oh, wow, that's going to be fascinating. I didn't know that. Lord. That's going to be fascinating. So let's kind of round stuff out because I got to go home here in a minute. So a couple of things. Brian, let's switch gears real quick to talk about tomorrow. Brian Koberger is going to be doing the plea deal hearing, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow. I'm going to look up when we hang up here before I go home to see when it is. If I'm able to stream it, if it's going to be aired or whatever, I'm going to try with all my might or whatever. I believe it is at 1:00 my time. I'm on Eastern time. I'm in North Carolina. So I would have a couple of hours like between things basically where I could stream it. So we'll try that. Now it might not be streamed. I don't know. I also would think it would go longer than 2 hours. So I might have to come back later and do it or whatever. Cause I was like, oh, I'll do a rewatch of it in the evening. But if it goes on for hours and hours, I don't know if I could do that at nighttime. That's what I'm getting at. So we're going to kind of do a mixture of things and see. But yeah, with that right there, I mean, we'll do that in another live chat with the Brian Koberger thing. But my mouth hit the floor. My mouth hit the floor. Okay, when I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, whoa." Okay, major. So I am dying to hear if they put all the information, if they put it all out there, like all the evidence or whatever, like what he is admitting to, the whole 9 yards, what he says, everything, right? Wait, did Stephen Stearns take a plea deal too, Jenny? Now that one I would expect. That one I would expect if he did, right? Wait, Stearns is the AM. What happens with Stephen Stearns? He has a hearing tomorrow. Pre-trial. Okay. Okay, so he's going to that. If there was one that I would say, my God, why are they not taking a plea deal? It would be Stephen Stearns. How do you get out of the images on because the first trial that he's been coming up is like the image stuff, we'll call it or whatever, right? How do you get out of that? How do you take that to trial? It's very cut and dry to me. Very cut and dry. This was your phone. This was on it. Right? Some of them probably his imagery himself in there. That I can't. $9:30 and 1:30. I mean, of course it would be a day that I'm busy. We'll see how they all do. And P. Diddy, they've come back. Yes, thanks, Trex. They got 4 of the 5 verdicts decided, stuck in the last one. So yeah, so there's gonna be that. So what I'll do is I'll post later. Definitely am not gonna be doing I won't be what do you call it? Streaming Stearns in the morning because I've got appointments and stuff. But we'll see about the Brian Coburg one. And if I can't stream it, we'll do a rewatch at some point, and I'll wait to watch it so we can watch it together. We'll just see how long it is. I imagine it's going to be a minute. So that is it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to all the mods for hanging out, for keeping the pillow cushions fluffed. I greatly appreciate you. We couldn't do it without you. And thank you also to the Sofa Squad for being here and hanging out and entertaining me and getting through these terrible cases that we watch. So that is it. Slow Morrison, we are going to close out with your lovely little song that is always a lovely little palate cleanser. Slow Morrison did the intro music here. So if you need intro music, Slow's your man. But that's it. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I'll see you at some point in some fashion tomorrow. I hope y'all sleep well. I hope y'all are swell. I appreciate everybody. I love y'all. I'll see you soon.
The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough. Join the family. It's all love while we laugh at first criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.